Hi, this is Dave Bazar, and this is the latest. Today I'm going to try to, again, explain how logistics are affecting the almond industry. And we've talked about this before. It is still an issue. This time we think it's as bad as it's ever been, right? So a lot of us have experienced that already from the pandemic. You know, you can't get a refrigerator, you can't get a part from here, auto sales, this thing, that thing. That same thing is happening here in the almond industry, okay? I'm standing with our shipping containers, so let me start the story there. 2015, there were roughly 17 global shippers, right? Ship lines. Now in 2021, that has been shrunk down to 9. That's further been consolidated into alliances, okay? So the flexibility, number of ships, lanes, all those things are now dramatically reduced. We've talked before about the fact that in addition to that, you also have the effects of the pandemic with as far as COVID and work schedules and unloading at ports and the dramatic change in how people have been buying their goods and not buying their goods and whether these goods are available have all compounded to make shipping a super hard thing in the almond industry. Okay, so now I'm going to leap from this idea that shipping is all messed up into what does it mean to the almond industry, particularly with bins right now. So let's go on over to a pile of bins and I'll continue this story. Continuing the story, I have a logistical problem with ships, okay? Now that's going to flip onto a problem with bins, all right? So ships are harder to get. I'm going to start in on in-shell, right? Not that it's the whole story, but it's a big factor in this. Why? Well, in-shell uses up bins. You put approximately 1,200 gross pounds in a bin of in-shell. Once you convert that to meat, you're talking about less than 900 pounds of kernels per bin of in-shell. Contrast that with when I run kernels, I'm putting 2,200 to 2,300 pounds of meats in a bin. So in-shell just burns up bins. Traditionally, we start with non-prel. The in-shell market's always, or definitely has had a premium. People want to make in-shell. It's been front-loaded. That's when typically our clients want it to happen. This year's been no different. We emphasized in-shell, filled up all kinds of bins, and then wham, we got a big problem with logistics. It started with one of the ship lines dropped a lane going to India, so all of a sudden you missed a vessel or two, and then the next thing you know, that thing just kept compounding. And it's not just in-shell, it's Europe as well, is very difficult. You know, all of a sudden, hey, we can just rail stuff to Houston because we've got congestions at Oakland and Long Beach. Well, now we have floods in Houston. They've shut down ports there. Oh, you know, China all of a sudden has some typhoons. They start to de-emphasize shipping going there. All of a sudden, all your bins are filled and things are not moving out. So what do we do about it, right? Time's going to tell. Right? You need to flip these bins and you're hoping these logistics start to solve themselves. But in the meantime, I think as a grower, you're going to start to experience at hullers saying, hey, the handlers don't have enough bins. And so they're going to start to slow down. You're going to have to stockpile more. That may translate out into the ranch stockpiling because hullers will be somewhat challenged on how much stockpile space they have. What it means down the road is going to be hard to determine because you do want these almonds to move on out, get out to the consumer who wants them. We're going to find out whether or not all of a sudden this opens up or that we just have to chug along. I guess one little glimmer of hope is that we've talked about this for 6 months, right? And we've still got these shipments out. I'm hoping that that's going to continue, that it's terrible problems, but it still gets done. It just feels worse this time, and I think you're going to start to see that in bin availability. This has been Dave Bazar, and that's the latest.